Hello Virgo, Elsie here to do your reading for the week ahead. Virgo, how are you? Thank you so much for clicking here, my Earth cousins. I hope you're well. I do have some oracles here that we're going to throw down for the overall energy for the week ahead. And if you've been here before, you already know how I read. I'm always reading for the week ahead. If you're here real time, I am reading for the first week of April already. Can you imagine? Already we're in the first week of April. So here we go. Let's find out what's going on for you. If you are interested in a private reading, please know that private readings are open. Please check the pinned comment for pricing. And if you are brand new, welcome here. Hope you'll stay. There is a subscription button down in the bottom right-hand corner. This little screen where I live, if you decide to stay. Tell me about Virgo. What's going on with Virgo energy? We've got boundaries, Virgo. We've got card number 26, which is an 8. An 8 is about the self. It's also about putting hard work into something. So I feel like you have been working really hard to put up some boundaries between you and something else. It might be something that's been quite an obstacle for you. This particular card, we see the mountains in the distance. It says mountains, obstacles in the tarot and, oracles as well. Mountains can be achievements, but they can also be obstacles. This particular one, it looks like the road goes straight into the obstacle. Like, how do we fix that? Well, this road actually bends. If you see it sort of bends, it's like you need to go around it. And so it feels like a little bit of lack because maybe the obstacles seems insurmountable, and it feels like somebody here is possibly been working really hard to put down some boundaries here to make sure that they're not letting the wrong people into their life. It feels like there could be an obstacle trying to do this, and maybe you're just feeling in lack. Maybe that's what the obstacle is. Card number 5, 5s are lack, right? And so it feels like you could be feeling like, if I put down these boundaries, these people are just going to leave and not come back. And sometimes that does happen, Virgo. Sometimes it does. But I can tell you from experience that putting down the boundaries is worth it, because if people wander away from the boundaries because they just can't take advantage of you and your kind service-like nature anymore, then I think you should let them go. I know it's hard and it'll put you in lack. It's a hard thing to do. Boundaries are hard. Let's find out what this is. We've got learning. I think you're learning boundaries, and I think it's been a little bit tough for you. We've got a card number 4, and 4s are about stability. So I feel like you will be stabilized in this energy of learning boundaries. It feels like there might be somebody coming in for a reunion. This seems to be a card that's coming out a lot with some of the readings that I'm doing privately and on the platform lately. This reunion card, right? Because we are in Mercury retrograde until the 12th of April, and Venus is also in retrograde. So it feels like there might be a reunion coming up here, and this could be a reunion with a friend or a member of the family you haven't spoken with in a while, but it definitely could be romantic if that's your perspective as you're viewing this reading. All right, one more card and then we will get to the tarot. We'll get some details about what's going on in the week ahead. We've got no, it's not the right time. So if there is a reunion coming in, that might be what we're talking about here. It's not the right time. You might have a lot going on right now. We have a bee, so it's telling me that maybe you're a busy bee right now. That you have a lot going on right now, and maybe you're distracted. It feels like or possibly learning could mean you're in school. Like maybe you've got heavy duty case work that you're doing in school, possibly, or at work. But now is not the right time, it says. Oh, and that says, yes, luck is on your side. Well, isn't that interesting? I'm putting that below reunion. So, for some of you, because I'm reading for a lot of people, for some of you, it's going to be a yes. And for some of you, it's going to be a no. I feel like either way, this reunion card is card number 27, which is a 9. And so it feels like the person that you will be having a reunion with is somebody that you haven't spoken with in a while, because 9s for me are all about the hermit energy in tarot. It does feel like this is somebody that maybe you built a boundary with and they wandered off. Maybe they're coming back to test your boundaries. Let's find out what else is going on for you, Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Virgo. Virgo, if you're interested in a private read and you'd like to look at my pricing, please go to the pinned comment below this video. There's a link there. It'll take you to my pricing. Let's find out what's going on for Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. we've got the King of Cups. I feel that your boundaries are around your emotional state. I feel like you, Virgo, are somebody who is emotionally aware. You're emotionally intelligent, which means that you don't just lose your crap at everything, right? You keep it sort of rolled back a little bit. You don't tell everybody everything. You're maybe a little bit stoic on the surface. You don't like to let people see that they got your goat, or let them see you sweat. I feel like you have built boundaries, like promises. Boundaries aren't what you put on other people. They are promises we make to ourselves. And so I feel like you've made yourself some boundaries in and around your emotional state. And it feels like when you get to the King, that's like you're somebody who's mastered this thing, right? They are masters of their domains, right? And this particular King of Cups is someone who's very caring and feeling and always wants to help everybody. So I feel like you are somebody who really had to build a boundary between you and people who would take too much from you. We do have learning, and so the Eight of Swords is here. Learning that in order to have stability, that you need to get out of the Eight of Swords, that it never is about maybe the situation. Sometimes when you're overthinking it, maybe it feels like that your hands are tied and there's nothing that you can do. But I think that you're learning that you can keep your emotional state intact, that you don't have to get overly emotional in every situation that's presented to you because you have boundaries. It does feel like with the Eight of Swords here that sometimes you feel like a prisoner of the mind, but I think you're learning about how to bring that more into balance or stability with number 4 here. Tell me about this. No, it's not the right time. What is this? We have the Emperor. Very interesting. So you could be the Emperor, or the Emperor could be someone else. Take it as it resonates for you. It feels like with this Emperor energy, though, it's saying that it's not the right time. So this might be a person that you have put behind your boundary. This could be someone that you're not yet ready to speak with. This could be a father. This could be an employer. This could be somebody that you have been married to or dated before. It feels like you're not ready to speak with them at this time. We've got the Nine of Cups. We've got the Four of Swords. And we've got the Sun. Yeah, we've got a 4 and we've got a 4. I feel like you're learning the stability of the mind. I think you're learning to this is the Three of Swords. It's about disappointment. It's also about having your heart broken, right? It's about things that are disappointing or heartbreaking. We do have one sword here that's laying on its side. And so it feels to me like what you're learning is to keep your emotions in check. And you're learning that not every thought you have and not every time someone shows up do you have to pay your attention to that. So I feel like the Emperor just automatically assumes that you're going to give them attention when they show up. And I think that this is not the right time for the Emperor. I feel like you're keeping the Emperor behind the boundaries possibly in order to keep your mental stability. This could be someone who's really hard on you, whether it's an employer or somebody that you know. Maybe it's a father, possibly, but it feels like this person is somebody who is really hard on your mental health, likely. We have the Sun here. There's going to be a breakthrough, and the Nine of Cups is telling me that you are learning how to be happy all on your own, that you're not depending on external things to make you happy, and external things would be buying things or eating things or dating people. You're not relying on those external things to make you happy. I feel like you are learning to get stability in the storm. When you feel the most like you are jailed by your thoughts, you are learning to meditate your way out of it, is what it feels like. Tell me what you're learning here. We have the Six of Swords, we have the Death card, and we have the Tower. So there definitely is shifting energy here. The Tower is about the shift. When I see the Tower and the Death card show up together, this is a major awakening. It's a major transformation that brings realizations that I could always move. I was never stuck here. I could always move, but it feels like this is something that you had to learn. There is a major realization coming here And I think that the major realization has to do with the way that you've been dealing with people in the past. I really do think that since you've put up your boundaries, that you're far happier, that you're better with controlling your emotions, and you don't get emotional in situations any longer. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, we've got the Knight of Wands, and we've got the Moon. So look, it tells me here you're no longer making snap decisions. You're no longer emotionally, boom, blowing up and saying, how dare you say that? Like, it feels like that's not what you're doing anymore, Virgo. If you're a person who didn't do that in the past, then maybe I'm just not reading about your energy just at this moment. But the Wheel of Fortune tells me that you've changed, that destiny is here, and it's time for, I feel that when the time is right, because for some of you it says luck is on your side, and the answer is yes. It could be that when the time is right for you to have the reunion with the Emperor, so that means maybe the boss calls you into their office, or have a reunion with possibly a father, or I feel like it's a figure who is of influence, who influences your life possibly in the present energy, but also somebody who's been really hard on you. So I feel like you grew to learn about these boundaries. This person probably taught you that I have to have certain boundaries. There's just no way that I can get along in life by just letting everybody do whatever they want. So the Knight of Wands is here, but the Knight of Wands is here between the Wheel and the Moon, which tells me that maybe in the past you weren't quite as aware as you are now. And destiny is here to say you have changed. What you've done is you've grown emotionally all by yourself, and you've become the King of Cups, whether you're feminine or masculine. Tell me about the Four of Swords here. I think this is all in an effort to maybe combat an argument or circumvent an argument that possibly you might foresee coming up in the future. We do have the Judgment card in the reverse that just popped out, which is kind of timely because it does feel like this Judgment in the reverse is a misjudgment. This person wrongly judged you or is really hard on you. They don't even know your story, but they just assume a lot of things about you. The Six of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. So whenever you get into a position of reciprocity with this person, it goes a little bit off the rails, because this person, I feel, is somebody who is the King of Swords, who is honest and truthful, but is also, very biting. Like, they don't really care if you like it. They don't care if they hurt your feelings. They're just going to deliver the information, and they don't really care how you feel about it. And I feel like the Five of Swords tells me that this is sort of in an effort to bait you or to see if you'll fight back. I feel like when you two get into this position of reciprocal energy here, the reciprocal energy is arguments. It's like, I don't agree with you. And this person, I feel, judges you all the time. In fact, I think they have misjudged you, because I feel like when they come up against you next time, that you're enlightened, right? There's an enlightenment going on here. You've had a shift in your thinking. You have a realization, and you've moved on because you've learned that it is not even worth it to have your emotions all over the place when you're dealing with someone like the Emperor who's trying to conquer you. Tell me about the Sun. The Ace of Wands with the Queen of Pentacles. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. And I think this is your realization. Your realization is, the breakthrough is that I can take my time. This person can goad me all they want. They can demand answers. They can try and get in my face with whatever energy that they think is going to rattle my cage. But I feel like you're in this energy of, this is a new day. This Ace of Wands is a lot of power, right? It's a power in knowing that the path is open and that you've opened it. Like, I feel like it's a new day for you where you are walking in fire now. Fire and water are temperance, which is balance. I feel like you're in a very balanced energy, but in also a very fiery energy. I will defend myself if I need to, but it does with the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles tell me that you are not going to act out as the Knight of Wands would, that it feels like you're going to act out very sturdy, solid, sort of dependable kind of energy. I'm going to take my time giving an answer, and this person can try and goad me into an argument all they want. They're a person who just doesn't get it anyway. They just think that it's my way or the highway. And the Queen of Pentacles tells me that you are very much about trying to be diplomatic. Let's find a way through this. And the Knight of Pentacles is like, I don't care how long it takes. I will sit here until you stop ranting and raving so we can talk about this thing. I really do feel like you have learned something here, and it is about your emotions, and that if you don't give people firepower, they can't fire back. I feel like you've realized, I'm just going to wait until this person stops, spouting things into the air, and then I'm going to deal with it in a very level-headed sort of poker face kind of energy. What's the outcome here? We do have the Two of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Swords, and we have the Nine of Swords. So I feel like what you're doing is, I feel like you are going to feel a little bit of anxiety as you end up meeting with this person. I think that it's inevitable, that I feel like there is going to be a reunion between you and the Emperor, but I feel like it's something that you are looking at as an obstacle, something that you're going to have to try and find your way around, because there's no way you're going to get through the mountain. It feels like the Two of Pentacles tells me a decision has been made. That with the Seven of Swords, it tells me that I'm just going to keep things under the surface. I don't need to tell the Emperor everything. I don't need to tell the Emperor anything. But I feel like there's a little bit of worrisome energy here with the Nine of Swords. That tells me you still are worried about what the outcome will be. I feel like the outcome is good. I feel like you've learned a really valuable lesson, and that now you have boundaries, that you'll let this Emperor wander about on the outside of the boundaries, yelling into the ethers and saying what they want to say. And when they look at you and they're like, well, aren't you going to say anything? You'll be like, give me a minute. I'm just going to think about that. Yeah. I don't think you're going to allow this person to pull you into any sort of argument. So I think there's a really big lesson here that you learned, and your lesson is, I think the lesson that you've learned here is how to hold back. Because when somebody tries to goad you, like, you don't have to go to every fight someone invites you to. And I think that's the energy that you're in, the energy of stoicism. Stoicism is when you just sit there in the chair and you watch somebody make a fool of themselves, ranting and raving and yelling and throwing out accusations, things they don't even know anything about, misjudging you. And then you wait until they're calm, and they will say to you, well, you got nothing to say? Well, if you're ready to listen, then I have something to say. And you will wait until it's your turn, I feel, and then you will give them all of the facts, the analytics. You will go over all the details with them, the practical things that we can do. This is how we can resolve things in a very low-key, kind of solid and dependable sort of way. All right. I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much for being here and watching. And if that resonated with you, I'd love to hear. I'm going to go for now. You guys take care. Bye-bye.